Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. We are here for Beard on King, episode 15. Um, Also a Beard on Film, but Beard on King, episode 15. We're going to talk about In the Tall Grass, the 2019 Netflix release based on source material from Joe Hill and Stephen King. So it's directed by Vincenzo Natali. I'm sure I mispronounced that, and my apologies. But we open on a brother and sister, young adults, Becky and Cal. They are driving down a country, somewhat deserted road, country road, highway though. You know, it's not like it's a dirt road or anything. There's this big sprawling field of grass on the right side of the road, and on the left side of the road there appears to be this old abandoned church. There's some vehicles in the parking lot, but they also appear to be run down and abandoned. um the church is called something to the effect of the Church of the Black Rock of the Redeemer. Cool name. Cool foreshadowing name almost. I dug that. Now there is a very, very cool Stephen King Easter egg in the parking lot. Something that can be seen in the parking lot. I'm going to leave it at that. Probably my favorite part of the film, if I'm honest with you. This cool, nostalgic Stephen King Easter egg. Now, I don't know of there being any other links or ties or hidden things connecting it to other material. I could be wrong. If there is, please tell me below, because I love that stuff. So we're on this road. Becky is pregnant. Becky gets sick. They stop the car. They get out. Church on the left, field on the right, and they hear a boy calling from the field, "Help me! Help me! I've been stuck in here for days." And so they go out and try to help him. I'll pause there for a second. I live in a place where there is tall grass, hay fields up and down this road that grow right up to the edge of the road, but we're talking, knee length, thigh length grass tops. Now this shit is over their heads. They cannot see over it, and taller than a cornfield, which, a field of grass, cornfield, children of the corn. I definitely, felt a little bit of that there, even though stories are not related to my understanding. Anyway, but out here, tall grass, sides of the road. Cool little country boy fact here is that they kind of mow that like every 2 to 3 weeks. They will come and knock down like a commercial mowers with off the sides of the road, and they do that so that like animals can't, they can still dart in front of you, but they can't sneak up and do it at the last second, right? Like you can see you've got at least a few extra more feet of vision before a gigantic buck darts in front of your vehicle. I thought, let's just common knowledge out here, but maybe not common knowledge to you. Anyway, we talking about tall grass. So I've been calling it tall grass for years, and so I honestly said that when I saw the title that they stole my term, because nobody else calls it tall grass. They call it hay, or they call it whatever, but I call it the tall grass, and so I think they stole my term from me. Back to the story. So Becky and Cal go into the field. They quickly realize that they are lost, that they cannot find their way back out, that they cannot find their way to each other. They get separated, and once they're separated, they can hear each other. She can hear him call him, but it sounds like his voice is over here, then it sounds like it's over there, then it sounds like it's... You get what I'm saying? Time and space are different in this place. So we meet Tobin, the little boy. We do eventually catch up to him. Creepy kid. No offense to the actor. I'm sure it was part of the plan, but creepy kid. I think we meet him at night. I could be wrong, but creepy. So, and what we learn is that if you're alive, we can't find each other. But dead things in this field don't move. Like there's one part where we see Tobin, like he's got like a dead crow or something, and he puts it down, and it's almost like marking a spot. Like if you hang out by something dead and then call out people can then find you. So eventually we come up on Tobin's dad, who is played by Patrick Wilson, the only recognizable cast member to me, and Tobin's mom. So at this point, there's 5 people in the field, and they have a dog. There's a dog out here running around too. But so, and we meet up and we find that there's this big, like, I'm talking it's like big monolith, this big stone, big black stone out in the middle of the field. And so your question, well, did that church used to worship this stone? But it's got glyphs on it. We don't know if they came with it or if the church members maybe etched them on there at some point, but it's clearly got power. It's clearly like the brain of this field, that the grass acts as the body, the rock acts as the brain. There's clearly some weirdness going on there. And right at the time that Cal and Tobin come up on this rock, we hear Becky being attacked off in the field somewhere. So we flash to Travis. Travis is the father of Becky's unborn child, and he's looking for him. And it's been weeks. It's been a couple weeks, and he finds their car abandoned in the church parking lot, and he goes into the field. And so he's in there too. So that's your cast of characters. Now, I'm not going to tell you, what I will say is that death isn't permanent here. People some of our characters have died, and it feels like they've died multiple times. But so you've got Travis, you've got Becky and Cal, you've got the family of 3, and they're stuck in this field. And then we find out that more about time not working the same. Like, we show up there, the family's in there, Cal and Becky go in, Travis comes, Travis goes in. But now Travis is in lost and alone, and he hears the family pull up. And he hears the commotion of the dog running into the field and the family coming after him. And then Becky and Cal show up again. So there is something weird going on with time. Long story short, because I don't want to spend a long time talking about this field, we realize that if you touch the rock, you know things about the field. You may even know the way out, but you can't leave. So that's something to bear in mind. And another, again, like I said, death is not permanent here. So as long as you have not touched the rock, there is a chance you can leave. So let's say, for example, you could die. An unborn baby could be lost in a horrible, horrible way, and that it could still be redeemed. You could still come back from that. So it's a weird film. It's psychologically disorienting, that's for sure. Disorienting. Yeah. I'm just not sure how I felt about it. Like, honestly, when I came here to talk about it, I was probably at 2 stars. But I think it was more than just okay for me. I know I didn't love the film. I know I didn't hate the film, but I would probably put it somewhere in the 3-star range, I guess, if pressed. But remember, cool Easter egg, cool Stephen King Easter egg. I think there was one more thing that I wanted to say. There are some cool, horrific death scenes, and remember, death doesn't stick here, so that gives an author or a director kind of unlimited, I guess, permission to kill, with abandon, because you can bring them back if you want to. There is a weird scene here with Becky and the child. I will say that. Weird, very extreme, I would say. I would say for a Stephen King inspired film, very extreme. I read a lot of Stephen King, and it was a very, very extreme scene. So yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, you're stuck in a field for an hour and 45 minutes, with very little, um, change, very little other external stuff going on. There's some, but very little. So yeah, that's it. I enjoyed it. I'm probably at 3 stars. It's worth a watch. I did it because, one, I'm not getting back into film, but as I watch film, I like to document them. For me, it was more the King thing, like wanting to slowly reread a bunch of King stuff. I mean, I reread like my favorites last year. I mean, things like Salem's Lot, Shining, and of course, I read. I'm reading the new ones as they come out and trying to keep a running documentation of King stuff. So at some point, I mean, I can tell you my top books, but at some point, I want to be able to tell you my top adaptations and things like that too. So, it was enjoyable, worth the watch. So this has been Well Red Beard. This has been my brief review or talk on In the Tall Grass by Stephen King and Joe Hill. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your films. I usually say all your books. Anyway, have a fine day. Beard out.